you know that the Masters of the Universe film has been in theaters for 35 years? In this video, we have covered notable attempts at a He-Man film reboot since then and the future of the movie. As recently as April 2021, actor Noah Centineo left the rebooted Masters of the Universe animated series, leaving its future uncertain. The franchise is in a precarious position right now. He-Man and Skeletor's popularity undoubtedly peaked in the 1980s, which is likely the main reason studios were hesitant to front a substantial budget to get it off the ground. With the upcoming releases of Masters of the Universe Revelation on Netflix, there may be a resurgence of interest in the sword and sorcery epic. But will that be enough to persuade Hollywood to fork over a healthy sum to bring Eternia to life? Perhaps not. There wasn't a single kid in the 1980s who didn't know who He-Man was. The cartoon show debuted in 1983 and lasted until 1985, providing kids with hours upon hours of fantastic adventures and providing parents with lists of hundreds of toys to buy. The storyline of Masters of the Universe is similar in that a young orphan named Adam discovers that he is a prince who is destined to become the savior of a faraway land. Knowing this, he must learn how to use his power in order to protect his true home from the evil force that is threatening it. 2 years after the original show ended, and with the franchise still going strong thanks to reruns and the success of She-Ra, Princess of Power, a Masters of the Universe live-action film would be an obvious marketing choice. The end result is one of the most horrifyingly captivating cinematic disasters of all time. Let's look at some of the things the live-action adaptation did well, and some of the things it terribly mishandled. First of all, costume designs. The original animated series was always intended to be a long toy commercial. He-Man and his Eternian friends' designs were always as marketable as possible. Bright colors and large weapons were everywhere in this fantasy realm. However, the set and character designs in 1987's Masters of the Universe were very different. Despite being clearly inspired by Star Wars, some characters such as Skeletor were completely redesigned to appear more menacing and less cartoony than before. The next one is the setting of the film. Because a film's setting is crucial in shaping its atmosphere and immersing the audience in the story. In the case of Masters of the Universe, the setting failed to adequately capture the spirit and allure of the original franchise. When kids learned that a Masters of the Universe film was in the works, they immediately thought of He-Man and his adventures in Eternia. Instead, they got something akin to what many fantasy films did in the 1980s and 1990s. They took a fantasy character and placed them in suburban California. The majority of the movie takes place on Earth, which is so far removed from the concept of Masters of the Universe that it is hard to believe it was approved by any major studio. Moving on to the villains. Among the film's many contentious changes, Skeletor's character is one of the few that most fans agree actually improved the film. Frank Langella, who plays him, was clearly having a great time playing the character, which added to the overall excellent quality of the film's villain. Despite a questionable makeover and an obvious latex mask, live-action Skeletor is by far the most iconic part of the film. Gwildor, a comic relief character created specifically for the live-action film, who served as the film's dollar store version of Orko, was not as fortunate. Along with Skeletor, Meg Foster plays her trusted counselor Evelyn. The actress's steely gaze and commanding voice made her character feel even more menacing, especially given the role she was given. If you haven't heard, Netflix's Masters of the Universe movie stars Kyle Allen as He-Man. Following Noah Centineo's departure, many fans wondered who would play He-Man in the upcoming live-action Masters of the Universe reboot. Sony has been attempting to produce a film for several years, and it appears that they have finally given up. The reboot has now been officially moved to Netflix after being delayed in January 2020 due to the pandemic and Sony's failure to make any progress on the project. The announcement also includes a new He-Man actor and director. Steven Spielberg's West Side Story actor Kyle Allen has been cast as Prince Adam in the upcoming live-action film, according to Mattel Studios and Netflix. The Nee brothers, who worked on Band of Robbers and not much else, will direct him. Masters of the Universe is an iconic property that shaped an entire generation of children's imaginations with the message of becoming the best version of yourself. We are excited to show audiences that anything can happen in Eternia in collaboration with our Netflix partners. We are continuing to unlock this global franchise in new ways, and we can't wait to see Kyle battle Skeletor in this epic live-action saga, said Mattel Films president Robbie Brenner. According to the film's IMDb page, the screenplay is written by David Callahan, whom you may recognize from films such as Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings and Wonder Woman. he will have several people assisting him in bringing the live action to life, including Jason Blumenthal, Robbie Brenner, Steve Tisch, and Todd Black as producers, Haley Sweet as a co-producer, and Bill Bannerman, Devon Franklin, and Greg Baxter as executive producers. The internet was quick to point out that Kyle Allen, 27, lacks He-Man's physical abilities. Sure, Prince Adam, but for the time being he's not a very convincing He-Man. He might not be tall enough at 5'8". In addition, he'd have to work out hard to pull off the look. He-Man is a physically imposing character. Could a live-action He-Man TV series be the next Game of Thrones? As various directors and production companies attempt to bring Eternia back to the big screen, there have been numerous false starts and broken promises regarding a live-action He-Man movie. However, perhaps making a movie isn't the best course of action at all. Can a live-action movie truly capture the magic of He-Man in 2 hours, with all the lore, colorful characters, and enchanted world? Following the success of the Lord of the Rings film trilogy, author George R.R. Martin received a lot of interest from producers and filmmakers who wanted to adapt A Song of Ice and Fire into the next big-budget fantasy film series. Fortunately, none of these deals came to fruition before HBO acquired the rights to produce Game of Thrones. While many fans are still upset about the show's final season, there's no denying that a serialized format worked well for the story. From the characters to the important subplots and developments, no film, or trilogy, could capture the essence of Martin's world as well as the show did. Similarly, Masters of the Universe is in the same boat, with almost too much content to fit into a single film. There are plans for animated shows on Netflix, but a live-action He-Man TV show wouldn't hurt either. The audience has seen how Netflix successfully adapted The Witcher, so what is stopping the streaming service from tackling He-Man as well? Imagine a talented showrunner like Damon Lindelof, Lisa Joy, or Stephen S. DeKnight probing the relationship between Skeletor and He-Man while peeling back the layers of why Eternia is always in such a state. There's even the possibility of an Excalibur-inspired arc following Prince Adam's discovery of the Power Sword, which is then split in half and Skeletor holds the other half. The entire conflict would revolve around them attempting to unlock both parts of Castle Grayskull, an angle mentioned in the original comics. At the moment, it doesn't appear that Hollywood has much faith in a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe film. Instead of letting the franchise gather cobwebs in a cupboard, it should be turned into a live-action TV show with the potential for multiple seasons of sword and sorcery fantasy. The world has been waiting for the next Game of Thrones, but could it have been right in front of us all along? Do you want a live-action reboot of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe? Well, that's it. For now, make sure that you like our video. Please share your views and opinions in the comments section with us. Subscribe to the channel to get updated regularly with the latest news and reviews on upcoming movies from us. And do not forget to hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you at the next one.